In this video, I'm going to show you the 3-step process I've used to help many hundreds of people sustainably lose weight. Step 1 is to understand that body fat is energy storage. The human body is a survival machine. It doesn't waste any energy. It saves it so that it's there for us when we really need it. It's like a big switch. Fat is like a battery. It's charged up and waiting for the body to switch it on. But the body is always going to burn the food first when it's available. That's what happens when you eat. You switch the system over to food burning mode and you shut off access to the fat storage. On average, it takes about 12 hours to get back to the fasting state. Here's what a typical day looks like for many people. Get up and eat breakfast, you start burning through that. Snack, lunch, snack, dinner. Now we're going to bed, we're working through all that food, we're getting to the morning, body's thinking, if we don't get some food in here soon, we're gonna have to start accessing the energy storage, breakfast. Each time we eat, we reset this switch, and we end up cycling around this food burning zone without ever opening up enough space for the body to fully process our last meal and then spend some time running off the storage. I often think of this as trying to lose weight by continuing to eat all the time. And when you look at how the body functions, you can see that's not really how the body wants to do it. Trying to lose weight like that is like fighting with the body. Have you ever tried to lose weight and felt that way? Like you're fighting with your own body? We do not want that. We want to work with the body. Step 2 shows the easiest way to do it. Eat 2 meals per day, like one of these 3 options. You can think of it as fasting in the morning and then eating lunch and dinner, or you could eat breakfast and lunch and then fast in the evening, or make some other window, like a brunch and then an earlier dinner. Each option gets you 2 meals in a 6-hour window, then 12 hours to flip that switch, and that opens up 1/4 of the day, 6 hours, where you can get to that fasting space and spend some time there. If you had to pick one of these patterns, which one would you choose? All of them can work. The best one is the one that you want to do. Most people I talk to pick the first one. Keeps meals at normal social times. Most people are not as hungry in the morning, so it's generally easier to skip breakfast. Not everyone feels that way. It's all good. It doesn't have to be the same every day either. The main benefit of doing the same thing every day is that it can create a more stable routine, which can be very helpful in the long term. On to step 3. You take this 2-meal framework and you fill those meals with healthy, low-carbohydrate foods. This type of practice can work with many different types of diets. The key is to choose the unprocessed foods. You could focus on eating meat and eggs, or you could choose a vegetarian diet, or so many others. Just realize, okay, beer and chips are vegan, and that's not going to help you very much. But those are the processed products. Ask yourself, did it come from a factory? Does it have an ingredients list? It's probably best to minimize those types of things. If you watched the last video and you filled out a food overview, take that out now. I'll grab mine, and let's see how we can take these concepts and shape what we're currently eating into a plan that can work. Most people say, if I can keep my coffee, I'm pretty good to go till lunch. So a perfect place to start is to clear out that morning food intake and just have a black coffee, or water, or tea, or sparkling water. A big win is to find some core foods that you're already eating that can work well with this type of program. If you aren't eating any, it's okay. It's just an extra step to find a few core things that you like. Here, this person has some eggs on occasion. They like them, but they were told it's not good to eat too many. To me, an egg is a core weight loss food. No carbs, healthy fats and protein, satisfying. Take that egg and move it to lunch. Make an omelet if you can. If you have to take it to work, you could just make hard-boiled eggs and add in some berries or nuts, and you've got a simple lunch that doesn't require any cooking, and it doesn't even need to be refrigerated. You could do any other kind of healthy meal at lunch, and then try to do the same thing in the afternoon. Stay hydrated, and then focus on getting a nutritious dinner. This doesn't have to be a baby meal. It can be a tasty, satisfying meal. And then you cut off that food intake after dinner. That's what opens up that big fasting space till lunch the next day. This is the type of diet that routinely works for people. It's what I consider level 1 out of 3. So there's a lot more power available to dial in. But I always say, I'm not trying to make anything any more difficult than it has to be. To be honest, I'm trying to make things as easy as possible while still working. That's the balance. Can you get to this type of eating? Some people will already be very close to this. They only need to change 1 or 2 little things and jump right to it. Other people might be far away and might have a lot of trouble making changes like this. In that case, it's often best to move toward it more gradually. Here would be a way to slowly move toward it. Focus on the path of least resistance. Try making only one small change that is the easiest one for you. Maybe that's making the change at breakfast and then leaving everything else the same. Sit with that for a while until it feels normal. Or maybe you want to start with the late eating. Cut that out first. Open up that evening space. Keep the breakfast for a while. Some people have a lot more soda and alcohol than I have on this list. Maybe that's a primary problem for you. You could start there, leave your basic diet intact, and just focus on bringing those down to as low a level as you practically can. If you really want to dial in on weight loss, I would say try to avoid them entirely. What I usually say is make it a treat. If you can have a treat once a week and enjoy it 6 times more, then you can strike a nice balance. You enjoy some tasty thing that you want, and then you take that burden off the body for the rest of the week, and then you open up that space to move toward your goal. What if you made 1 change a month and slowly step toward it? Maybe you fully start eating this way by 6 months. It's no big deal. There's no rush. There's no pressure. What if you make half of the changes and it starts working? That's great. What if you make all the changes and you're still not moving toward your goal? I tell you, don't be discouraged. We all have to play the hand that we're dealt, and certainly all the hands aren't dealt evenly. If you are solidly eating 2 healthy meals in a 6-hour window and you're not seeing the results you want, I want you to realize that what you're doing is you're building out a solid foundation. It's all good. Future videos are going to take that base and use it to step into higher levels of fasting if needed. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, check out this next video, which answers the most common question that I get when talking to someone about making these types of changes. Can I keep the creamer in my coffee? I'll see you there.